Here with us right now is one of the most highly anticipated mid-range smartphones that will be launching in the Philippines. This is the Honor 400 5G. It runs on the Qualcomm Snapdragon 7 Gen 3 chipset with 12 gigs of memory and 512 gigabytes of internal storage. Our display panel runs at a resolution of 2736 by 1264 pixels, but check out the battery capacity. It's a 6,000 milliamp hour silicon carbon module. We're running Android version 15 out of the box with Magic OS version 9. Digging deeper, you'll see that it uses LPDDR4X memory modules and UFS format storage. Wi-Fi 802.11ax is supported. That's Wi-Fi 6, but keep in mind that 6E is not yet supported. And by the way, this also uses Bluetooth 5. And one of the cool things about the R400 5G is that it already supports eSIM. So let's go ahead and check out the gaming features. One of the first things that you want to do when you're playing games on the Honor 400 5G is to head over to battery, toggle performance mode, and you notice that it tells us that we have 30 hours and 8 minutes remaining. That's a very optimistic estimate. And if you're going to be doing this, make sure that you have access to a charger because it will drive up battery consumption. The next thing that you want to do is to go to display and brightness and then go to screen refresh rate. And you'll notice that by default it's set to dynamic, which automatically switches between the lower refresh rates all the way to 120 hertz. So you may want to set that to 120 hertz at least for the first time that you will be playing your game. You can also go here and manage your apps that use high refresh rate. Take note that some apps will still run at a lower refresh rate, 60 hertz, depending on its compatibility. Okay, now another cool feature on the Magic OS is its gaming support. So that's hidden under apps. Go to game manager and make sure that it's enabled. You can toggle the games that don't automatically get detected. And as you can see, it automatically detected the 4 games that we will be trying for this gaming test. Make sure that on-screen sidebar is enabled. And with that being said, let's launch our first game, Genshin Impact. You get that notification on the top left of the screen. And if you swipe left, you will call up the game manager. You can choose between balanced and game mode. After switching to game mode, you may want to do a memory cleanup. You might want to turn on Do Not Disturb and enable mistouch prevention. You will be able to quickly take screenshots or screen recording via this tool. You can also lock the orientation. There's something new here called the timing aid, and what this does is it will create like a floating timer right here, which you can tap in order to monitor certain timings. And of course, you have floating windows, which you can use to run things like YouTube playback in a mini window while you're playing your game. You can also chat with your friends or text with your friends while you're playing. So it's a very nice way to interact with other applications that are installed in your phone without leaving the game. All right, while that's loading, we're gonna bump our volume all the way to 100% first. So this is 100%, but it comes with volume boost, which supposedly is 200% louder. Now that we're finally in game, first thing that we're gonna do is to customize our graphic settings, bring it to highest, visuals on high, frame rate on 60. Everything else we'll leave at the defaults. There's no in-game frame rate monitor, so we're gonna swipe left from time to time. As you can see right now, we're doing 50 FPS. It is very smooth. Alright, we're heading on to a battle. Let's check out the frame rates. Once we have all those crazy visual effects. And it looks like it hasn't dropped down below 40 FPS so far, which is great actually. So it's holding itself up above 40 FPS. Alright, our next game is Mobile Legends. Check out the graphic settings, ultra map quality, model on standard, effects on high, high frame rate set to ultra, resolution set to HD. And with those settings, we're getting 120 FPS.
Wants to challenge me.
So far, frame rates haven't dropped down below 120 FPS or 119, so it looks like for Mobile Legends, at least,
Guess who's back?
you can expect top-notch performance on the Honor 400 5G. Okay, for our shooter test, it's gonna be PUBG Mobile. As you can see, I've already set it to game mode, do not disturb, memory cleanup. Check out the graphics. We are capped at Ultra HDR. Extreme HDR is currently locked out. Frame rate set to Ultra. And then for gyroscope, it is supported on the Honor 400 5G. Okay, as we're heading down towards the ground, very nice and very good responsiveness on our gyroscope, and frame rates are hitting the 40 FPS limit, so that's a good sign. So far it hasn't exactly dropped down below 39 or 40 FPS. Wow, it even goes up to 41. Frame rates on the ground, same as our airborne frame rate, 40 FPS. CPU and memory slightly above 50%. And we died. Alright, round 2. Lobby frame rates, 40 FPS. As we're running and enjoying the scenery. Very stable frame rates on the Honor 400 5G. Frame rate so far so good. 40 FPS, never dropping down. Our last test is racing featuring CarX Street. I've tweaked the graphics all the way to the right. And let's do a memory cleanup. Okay, so the game manager reports a frame rate of 120 FPS. I don't know if that's the actual in-game frame rate or if it's just reporting the refresh rate. I feel like it's the refresh rate and that's not the actual frame rate. But still, it is smooth as silk in game. Playing CarX Street on the Honor 400 5G. Check it out. Now it went down to 90 hertz. Yeah, I think that is the refresh rate as opposed to the actual frame rates. So now that we've playing for roughly 45 minutes, the temperatures on the surface of the phone goes as high as 46.6 degrees Celsius. Over to the backside of the phone, we're doing around 44 degrees Celsius, right around here near the camera island. Then from here, you can check out the uniquely shaped camera island where the 200 megapixel main camera is located. And this is the midnight black colorway. It is also available in gold. There's also a blue and white combo available for those of you who are looking for something with a bit more personality. Bring this video to a close, here are a few benchmarks. Antutu 863,852 points. In Passmark, we managed to reach 14,736 points with our read and write speeds hovering around 1 gigabyte per second. In PC Mark, we managed to score 13,526 points. Then for our battery life, we were able to go as high as 14 hours of screen on time with the 6,000 milliamp hour silicon carbon battery. Last but not least, our thermals going all the way to 11%. So the performance drop down to 89% over a span of 10 minutes with temperatures rising as high as 48 degrees Celsius. Here's a more detailed view. And as you can see, total throttling is only around 12% despite the 30 degrees Celsius rise in temperature. Everything is green. So even though the Honor 400 is primarily a lifestyle phone with a very good camera, sensor, and AI features, performance is really strong thanks to the Snapdragon 7 Gen 3 chipset and very fast memory modules. And then thermals are kept in check, which leads to a more stable system. And of course, the 14-hour battery life is the icing on the cake. So, do you have any questions about the Honor 400 5G? Just drop a comment down below. Let's talk more about this phone. And we have other videos on our YouTube channel at TechKuya. We'll see you guys there. Bye.